learn about robotics?
Well, the best way is with a robot. We'd like to introduce you to Marty, a fully programmable and customizable walking robot. For kids, for makers, and for educators.
Marty's not your standard smart toy. He's designed by roboticists to be a real robot that you can do some really cool stuff with.
While being as fun as a toy, you can use Marty to learn about robotics, programming, electronics, and mechanics. Or you can build your own stuff with a walking robot that will hold a Raspberry Pi, and which you can customize with 3D printed parts.
Marty's not like other walking robots. His unique 3-motor and spring leg design lowers costs, but also makes him easier to use and his battery lasts longer.
He can walk, turn, kick a ball, and of course do funky dances. Marty is Wi-Fi enabled, so you can remote control or program him from your phone or computer.
You can also download apps or games other users have made from our Robot App Store.
Marty lets you learn real programming on a real robot. Start off with Scratch, where the coding is as simple as clicking and dragging blocks. You can make a dance routine or start interacting with the environment.
When you're ready, you can move into Python, a powerful but easy to use programming language.
But robotics is way more than just programming. Marty lets you learn about all kinds of things. Motor control, balance, sensors, mechanical design, and more.
Marty is really customizable and upgradable. The electronics make it easy to add all kinds of sensors and motors, and they'll even support a whole computer like a Raspberry Pi.
Add a camera, and you could even program him to play football.
All the parts are 3D printable, so you can make whatever you can imagine.
Marty started out as a side project during my PhD. I've got nieces and nephews who are starting to get to the age where they can play with robots, but I couldn't see a walking robot toy that was more than a novelty, or at least not one I could afford. So I made one. We could actually use Marty to help teach robotics at university, but he's as easy to use as any other toy. Also, as a maker, I wanted a walking robot that I could use as a base to build cool stuff with. I've spent the last year and a half working on this little guy, and now we're ready to go from functional prototype into a real kit that you can buy. We've spoken to manufacturers and we know how to do it, but we need your help to make it happen. Please help us make Marty a reality.
Hi, Cindy. Banana. Banana.
More, please remind me 2 minutes later.
No problem.
More, who can I contact for ID design? Which department?
Wait a second.
Mom, can you tell me a story?
Okay.
Once upon a time, there was a little girl who lived with her mommy in a cottage on the edge of a big forest. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Daddy.
Hey Kickstarter, my name is Sebastian Sitter and I'm the founder of SipaBoards. I opened my first sport shop when I was only 22 and have been in the sport business ever since. A few years back, my family and I got into stand-up paddleboarding. I came up with the idea for SipaBoards to make it easier for all of us to have fun paddling together.
Anyone who's ever pumped up a paddleboard by hand knows that it makes going out on the water afterwards seem like a post-workout cool-down. Not only that, but what to do with the big pump once you're done, especially if your car's not around. Forget about those hassles. Focus on the important things, while the world's first ever self-inflating stand-up paddleboard does all the hard work for you. Attach the hose and flip on the compressor, and then tuck the motor into the slot. The whole process takes about 5 minutes, and it's so easy, anyone can do it. Now, the same motor that got you out on the water more quickly will keep you out there longer and help you paddle further. With 3 hours of assistance at a cruising speed of 2 knots and up to 3.5 knots max. Our jet propulsion system is fully integrated into the board, and you control the settings wirelessly with just a simple touch on your paddle. Explore further. Paddle against the current or into the wind. Paddle all day until your arms are tired, knowing you can rely on your SipaBoard to help get you back. When you can't paddle any further, just turn on the Sipa Drive. Enjoy yourselves together. Go out with your whole family or in another group. Your children will have the confidence to go wherever you do, and no one will lag behind, as they can all set their own pace. Learn quickly and easily. The motor makes the board nice and stable, so beginners can learn how to paddle more quickly. Sipa keeps them going forward, so they can focus on technique, and more importantly, on enjoying themselves. SipaBoards are truly for anyone who wants to paddle further and have a good time on the water. Even your dog will love it. Our innovative inboard design makes SipaBoards absolutely safe to handle, keeps the motor barely audible, and virtually eliminates drag when paddling without the motor. The motor automatically shuts off if the paddle falls in the water, so you'll never get separated from your board. Sebastian first came up with the idea for SipaBoards when he was out paddling together with his family, and his daughter had a hard time getting back to shore. He looked around for a good solution, but he couldn't find anything, so he decided to build it himself. Some of his friends work on electric bikes, so the transition to electric paddleboard was obvious. They started working on a design for a prototype within days. The team we put together is a multinational group of young parents and explorers with tons of experience in sports, electrical and mechanical engineering, development, design, and more. SipaBoards is a new challenge we're taking on with excitement, endless energy, and a healthy dose of fun. Staying true to our roots in the heart of Slovenia, we've tested SipaBoards extensively in the Adriatic and on the lakes and rivers at the foothills of the Alps. We produce and assemble the electric engine pack entirely in-house in Slovenia, while manufacture and quality control of our boards has been entrusted to an industry leader in Switzerland. Our distribution network is also ready to take SipaBoards all over the world, wherever people want to paddle further. Your pledge will get you everything you need to start having fun on the water today. A premium stand-up paddleboard with a fully integrated jet propulsion system for several hours of help while paddling. An ergonomic, lightweight paddle with controls on the handle, and a compressor to get your board pumped up and ready to go while you sit back and enjoy the view.
This is where we need you, Kickstarter. Help us take SipaBoards into serial production. Our manufacturers are waiting just to flip the switch so we can get SipaBoards into your hand this summer. We can't wait to bring stand-up paddleboarding to everyone. The only catch is that we need an order of at least 200 boards to get started. And with your support, we can make that happen. So be the first to try out the future of this sport with SipaBoards. Because having fun shouldn't be hard for anyone.
For many years, DJs have only had one option: wired headphones. But why haven't they cut the wire?
When I'm DJing and I have my headphones around my neck, you're always wired, to your mixer, obviously, and it's a big disadvantage of having the space and the freedom to jump around and to play with the crowd.
Because there's been no way for them to bridge the gap between wireless headphones and their DJ mixer. Consumer Bluetooth transmitters have latency issues when playing back their audio signal, which is why by default, DJs and recording artists have completely written off going wireless. So where does Ether come into the picture? Our story begins less than a year ago when it was brought to my attention how cool it would be to DJ using wireless headphones at a latency rate that's unperceivable to the human ear. It was at that exact point in time when I dropped everything I was doing and made it my goal to bring this project to life. After finding the right team, research and development, and tons of testing on existing transmitters, we found out that the A to D converters in standard Bluetooth chips just can't convert audio signal fast enough.
I currently perform with wireless headphones, but it's a huge pack. I've got a box I gotta plug into my booth. I've got a hip pack that I've gotta carry around on my belt. Sometimes the cords get stuck when I'm sitting and then they get ripped out, and it's pretty embarrassing when that happens live. So you can imagine the heartache, the headache, the struggle that this would save.
So how does the Ether transmitter work? Very simple. Choose any Bluetooth wireless headphone, pair it to the Ether transmitter, plug your transmitter into any DJ mixer or headphone preamp, turn up the volume, and you're good to go. Almost a year later, and we're a little short of funding to finalizing the Ether transmitter, and we need your support. We're offering some pretty cool perks. So let's cut the crap, cut the cords, and let's bring the Ether transmitter to life.
Live your life, be free.